Doing that, I'm gonna get some ice cream.
Now, Greg, you know the rule. No eating on camera.
Alright. Should be good. I'll click over and that looks all right. I guess it looks. Yeah, I guess that'll work. I was gonna make a slight adjustment to this, but I'm gonna leave it. Hi Jeff. Hi Darren. Hi Chris. Hi Alex. Natasha. Tony Waddle says good evening. Audio video good. Apologize for the late start. I can't do anything until Mrs. K gets off work and I get here to pick her up, or I get there, or I was there. I can't do anything until she gets off work, and that's probably not going to change anytime soon. I'm going to refresh the fish cam.
Jim came in, but he left. I don't know what the deal is.
He probably was waiting for the stream to start. I had hopes of getting started really early tonight, but that just didn't take place. Let me figure out.
What do you mean by really early?
10:30. I think 10:30 would have been good. Why is my camera not working? Okay. That's interesting. Well, I got to figure this out real quick. I have one dedicated camera for the Zoom and I have one dedicated camera for OBS. Somehow, I now have two dedicated cameras to OBS and I haven't changed anything in OBS. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's the one I didn't get plugged in. Okay, let me think about this a minute. Nope, that says the camera's in use in another setting. So I'm going to go over here to shut the fish cam off for just a second. Okay, so that's the fish cam. That one's correct. So now I'm going to go down to this one. Oh, that's crazy. That's just absolutely crazy. Of course, it's my system, so it doesn't surprise me. Now the fish cam should come back. There we go. All right. Well, that's not too bad. So how's everybody doing tonight?
Fair, pretty fair.
That's good. When I left, I had started 4 folders that I thought might accomplish moving over while I was gone. They didn't.
So the 8 terabyte drive still hanging up on moving stuff.
Oh yeah, that 8 terabyte drive is completely gone. I'm gonna hopefully get through what I'm attempting to do right now, which is literally moving at one point today song by song in a folder. Not the folder, the songs within the folder, because it wouldn't move the folder. And then when I got back tonight, I didn't even pay attention where it was at. I just left it where it was at, minimized it all. It'll be there later tonight, and I'll work on it.
Yeah, we'll blame Sean.
Yeah, I need to check out.
Those Arizona guys that are responsible for all this trouble. I don't know.
Well, Jim was here for a little bit for probably what seemed like 5 seconds earlier, but he must have left.
Yeah, he'll be back, I'm sure. Maybe.
We're getting rain outside here. I can hear it.
Well, the people at church are begging. The people at church are begging for rain to come here, but I'm perfectly okay with it not raining, because with rain comes thunder and lightning and possible power outages, and if I get people bringing me
I don't know.
stuff to do where I'm trying to do stuff, it's not the kind of weather I want to be doing stuff.
You getting anything over there, Sean?
Huh?
What's euphemistically called a monsoon season.
We didn't get any rain here, but I guess that day that it was raining here, I guess my mom and dad got 2 power outages.
Wow.
But I didn't get any because APS, they bury their wires. SRP has them up on towers and stuff. I don't know. I think my dad might join. I just went and asked him, but
That's fine.
we're just gonna be here till like 8:30, 8:45, and then we're gonna watch a TV show together. So
It's been at
we're at
least
my mom and dad's house right now.
it's been at least 62 days since our power got cut.
Yeah,
I know that. I know that.
Yeah,
It's probably
we-
been long. It's probably been longer than that, but I know 62 days for a fact, because that's how long our modem. That's how long our router shows it's been up for.
Hey, Alex, you said that Jim left. He's back.
Yep. Well, he's working on it. It's a picture
What did
That
I-
there.
cute, adorable puppy.
What did I stumble into earlier?
Probably just Zoom running with me not here.
Them running and Greg listening to something with his microphone on.
Oh. So speaking of
watching-
George, someone wants to know if he dyed his hair.
No.
I didn't think so, but the question has been
man?
posed.
Some
Are
relation
we
to
still
Carrot Top.
calling him George?
No, we are not. He's the big dude now, but one of our faithful followers in chat asked if George dyed his hair, so I had to ask.
No, his name's Frank today.
No, I think we'll go with big dude.
Don't mess around with Jim.
Nope. So,
Huh.
Chris sent
News
me a
app
thing
says
earlier.
there's thousands of power outages here in the valley.
Yeah, a friend of mine sent me
I
a
go
picture.
offline, that's what happened.
Yeah, a friend of mine sent me a picture. And he said you guys had torrential downpours, and 3 hours later the sun was back out.
Somebody in Arizona got stuck underneath their house. Their house jumped off the frame and rolled, and it was a trailer, rolled and busted into 1,000 pieces, and the lady got stuck underneath her stove.
Mobile
Her
home.
sister and the neighbor had to come and help her get up back in her wheelchair, take her to the hospital. A couple hours later, she ended up in the ICU. So yeah.
We're supposed to have rain for the next 4 days: tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tomorrow
Jeff
is the
needs
50
it where he lives because Lake Mead needs to get full again, man.
Yeah,
Lake
but
Mead
that's-
over there is getting
Oh,
really
gosh.
empty.
We need rain upstream though.
Right.
Rain here in Vegas doesn't do doodly squat.
No. No, and you need more than 1 or 2
We had a
days
flash
worth of
flood
rain.
here earlier today. If you remember, Ken, where Flamingo hits the 95,
Yes.
that was underwater.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow.
Oh, big dude
Sometime
has
this
his ice
afternoon.
cream, huh?
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that. Not Big Dude's ice cream, just Flamingo in the 95 flooded.
I'll show you my ice cream.
No.
Right now it says there's 6,500 homes without power here.
So how's
Hey, we're
the
supposed to have
spasms
rain.
today, Rick?
Since I started taking that bed, it's getting better.
Good. Good.
Say we're supposed to have rain here. Only 2 short hours tomorrow, between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m.
We're not supposed to get rain until next Monday. Hopefully the forecast holds true. There is Robert. Let's see, is he at work tonight or not? I don't remember. shouldn't be. No, wait, is he at work or not? I can't keep up with people's schedules. Oh, you are working tonight. Okay. I thought you weren't going to work any extra. Today's what? No, wait a minute. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, I'm a day ahead of myself. Never mind. For
So
some
we
reason, I was thinking it's Thursday.
Well, just wait till next Thursday. It's supposed to be over. It's supposed to be 101 here
Phew,
next Thursday and Friday.
that's warm.
hey Ken,
Yeah,
we
Sean.
so we put a used solid state drive in my mom's computer, and it's still doing the same thing it did with the other drive. So we don't know what the heck's going on.
Well, that would be a Jim question, not a me
We
question.
installed a brand new copy of Windows 10 on that drive, and everything that was happening with the 500 gig Samsung drive is happening with the 120 drive. We don't know. Why would her computer, like some of her programs on her computer, Jim, freeze the computer, like totally just jam it up and freeze it. And then they have to restart it. I don't get that. I didn't think software would cause a freeze.
What software in particular?
TextPad, Zoom, this double solitaire game, it just like freezes it. Huh?
What's the rest of the system?
It's an i5, 16 gigabytes of RAM, Intel graphics, it's got a Wi-Fi card, but they don't use it. They use like the access point that I have for my mom because the router's on the other side of the house, so they need that to get better internet for her. I don't know. What should they do? Should he remove the wireless card, or because there's a wireless card that's active and the other thing, but I don't know. It's an i5, it's a 3.3 gigahertz, third or fourth gen i5.
Hi, Mike. Good to see you. Haven't seen Mike in here in a few days. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Parodin. Let's just go with Mike.
Who makes the computer? Is it something you slap together? Pardon me?
Dell.
It's a Dell.
Yeah.
Okay.
We thought it was just the operating system and the program, so we reinstalled the operating system on a different SSD, and it's still doing the same thing.
So, I think coming up in the very soon distant future, like tomorrow, there's not going to be any Dell talk. There's not going to be HP talk. We're going to be a non-Dell, non-HP channel moving forward. Get it out of your system tonight.
How about Lenovo?
Gateway or Acer?
So I guess he'll know not to mention foreign languages in my chat room again.
System 76.
We'll see how this goes over.
I don't even think any of y'all probably know
You
what
were
that
saying.
is. Jim.
You just got a ticket to
You said Lenovo and you
February.
started to say something else when I put you over
No,
there.
and then I was going to say Acer.
Oh, Acers are all right, I guess. I think Acers aren't bad, are they?
I said Acer.
I've heard they're decent.
What was the brand that used to have the cow colorations
Gateway.
on the box?
That was
Gateway.
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 That was
Yeah,
Gateway.
Acer bought what was left of Gateway at some point, I think.
What about Alienware?
Alienware is owned by Dell, so no.
Aren't they cute? They're changing the name to Alienware. I think Dell, DELL, is a little easier to remember than Alienware.
Well,
They're not changing
Alienware
the name.
existed before Dell.
They're not changing the name.
They just bought them out.
Yeah,
Yeah, they bought them out, and or they made up a whole new division to convince you to to pay more money for another piece of shit.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Trivia,
Exactly.
who knows what Dell's name was before it was Dell?
I know, but I forgot.
I had a motherboard from them at work. PCs Limited.
Oh God.
And I had to get rid of the motherboard because it wouldn't work with a couple of compilers that we had. And I was developing our own software eons ago. The compiler could catch a fault and the computer would still go just merrily on its way. It wouldn't halt when it was supposed to.
Sean, have you replaced the memory in the Dell?
No.
That's the first thing I would do.
Okay.
So
I
real-
replaced the memory, and I'll tell you why I say that, because somebody once brought me a machine that you would boot okay, and it would run sort of okay for a few minutes, and then the video would corrupt.
I think
And
it's got like, I think it's got like 2 or 3 different brands of RAM, but it's 4 sticks of 4 gigs. So
well, the
That's
first thing I would start doing is I'd start suspecting the RAM. And the
yeah,
reason I say that again is because when somebody brought me a machine, which I think was also a Dell, it would work fine for a few minutes, and then the video would act weird, and then the machine would sort of lock up. And occasionally, when it would try to boot, you'd get the Dell logo screen, but as soon as it tried to load the desktop, it would screw up.
well,
And I wound up pulling all the memory out and put them back in one at a time until the machine screwed up. It was a bad memory module, because you have to remember the internal graphics gets its video memory from the main system memory.
yeah,
So you could be looking at a bad stick of RAM.
yeah. Now, even though there's 4 slots in it, can I just put like 2 8 gigs in there, or do I have to fill them all up with 4 gigs each?
The only way you're going to know that is you need to look it up either on Dell's website, or if the manual is available, find out what configurations it will tolerate.
Yeah, because those little small form factors on Newegg are selling with like 32 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Dell Optiplex 720s could take 32.
Well, it's going to depend on which flavor of 720, because they have a lot of different flavors of a lot of different machines.
Yeah,
If the machine is probably less than 7 years old, there's no particular reason why it probably wouldn't be able to. But again, you're not going to know that unless you look it up on Dell's website, or if the manual is still available, you got to look in there to see what memory configurations it will tolerate. But it sounds to me like that it's probably a bad stick of RAM. That's off the top of my head guess.
all right.
Now, is this a desktop or a laptop?
It's a desktop.
Okay.
It wouldn't matter either way.
No, I know. I just wasn't sure. So those of you keeping score, when I left today, I had started a folder that had 159 songs on it. It moved 5, and then it crashed. So I'm going to have to move 154 songs individually, or maybe in groups of 3 or 4 or something. I don't know.
This is the 8 terabyte drive.
Yeah, we actually tried something today, which was a really good idea. I thought. I shut it down. Yeah, Greg, I don't think I was laughing much. We shut it down, and we put the 8 terabyte into. We took the 3 terabyte out and put the 8 terabyte in its place into the machine itself. Good idea. Great idea. I turned it on, and I get an error that says something to the effect of, I can't find anything to boot from. What am I supposed to boot from? Paraphrasing that, of course. So it says hit F1, which I did. Everything looks in order. The drives are in order. The saver is where it's supposed to be. That's my only boot drive, because that 8 terabyte does not have anything to boot from on it. Why it was even showing up like that, I don't know. So I hit F10 and save, try it again, and get the same error. I did this 4 times, and finally I'm panicking a little bit because I'm thinking I broke somehow that 8 terabyte has broke my machine. I'm done.
No, it didn't break your machine. It's screwing with it, but it didn't break it.
Right. Well, I know because I got the 3 terabyte back in there, I put it all back together, and it's been running since. Now I put the 8 terabyte back in there, and I moved a lot of stuff over, and then my dinner plans changed drastically. So I loaded up about OPM, Paul McCartney, pictures, and 4 files. OPM had 159 songs. Paul McCartney, I think, had, I want to say 15. I don't know how many pictures were in there. When I get back, it moved 5 songs. That's all it moved. So later tonight, I'll start the process over. Now I'm over halfway as far as folders go, but I still got a massive amount of stuff to do. We've tried. Oh, cool. Thanks, Jeff.
Oh, you see that link I sent you?
Yeah, I'm looking at the water.
Now that's simply the on-ramp, but still, it was,
Still, that's a lot of water.
yeah, that was this afternoon sometime.
I wonder how many idiots tried to go through it.
Well, considering it's Las Vegas, probably about.
Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well,
Jim,
do
you
you
got
remember down by Palace Station on I-15, the underpass there on Sahara used to flood quite regularly,
yes, yes.
you know.
I do remember that.
And we still have about I don't know, $700 or $800 million worth of flood control projects to go yet here in the valley. They spent like 2 billion or something already.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna leave for tonight. They really want to watch TV shows like
What are we watching?
family. So, what?
What are we watching?
The Yukon Vet show on Disney Plus.
Skip it. You won't
It's
like
the
it.
last,
Just hang around here. It'll be better. Bring mom and dad in. They'll have a much better time here, and
No.
I'll save you the trouble. No problem, Sean. Enjoy it. Enjoy your mom and dad, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right.
Jim has got his retired shirt. I don't know what that one says. The one I like says, I was tired yesterday and I'm tired again today. This is as dressed up as I get. All right. That's good.
I'm trying to shut the 8 terabyte down. I went to move the rest of the OPM thinking I could get them all. I can't, and it's not responding. It's just going to be a long, tedious process. Still not hot. I got my hand on it. It's really not. It's
When are
warm.
you going to determine that you can't? When are you going to determine that you absolutely can't get any more files off of the?
How much money do you want to lose? Because as long as it's running, I'll get the files off.
Yeah, then I said I have to eat some more stuff here.
Well, you're not going out again. It's too wet.
Huh?
It's wet, sweet.
I thought that briefly was Natasha for a minute. Oh, it's like, okay. Alex, I will say that I'm done with it when I get all the music off, and it's just going to be painstakingly slow. Now, if I get to a point where it absolutely won't load up, I hope I have taken enough of a snapshot picture with my camera of the files that are remaining so I can go get the music again elsewhere. But I'm not ready to quite give up
Most of
yet.
that music that you downloaded anyway, and if it's not, you still have the CDs so that you can put them back.
Yeah, it's all downloaded music. I haven't owned a CD in Well, when I
you
was in the
know,
Army, I'll put it that way. And I got out of the
as you
military in
know,
92.
around this house, I've got oodles of CDs, DVDs, VHS tapes, and blank CDs and DVDs.
I'll be back momentarily, Ken. Olivia just got back. They were out swimming and had to quit
Oh boy.
for the storms.
Oh,
If
okay.
So she's hungry. I'll be back in a
We'll,
couple
we'll
minutes.
be here.
if I used all of my CDs and DVDs, charging $10 a pop per CD or DVD that I make, I could probably make I'll say pretty close to $1,000.
So I have a project that I want to collaborate with on you in regards to Macrium Reflect. Can we uninstall Macrium Reflect, reinstall it, and see the backups I've already done, or is that a bad idea?
Yeah, it'll still see the backups. It won't delete the files. It won't delete the backups that you already done with it. It's just.
Well, considering you're on an external drive, sure. Someone has posed for you or I to make a installation video of Macrium Reflect. I'm not going to try to attempt that on my own, so I thought we could collaborate and do that. And I was thinking if I uninstall it,
you can either uninstall it, or because that could potentially leave remnants of an installation already there, and won't give the person a clear picture of how to install it.
right? That's why I said, can I uninstall it?
You could what I was going to say is we could set up a virtual machine and you could install it in the virtual machine.
Well, I've got a virtual machine on my other computer, but I didn't really want to go to that much trouble to do this. Can we get it to a certain point where it gets them to the point where they'll understand what they need to install it, but not complete the installation, so that I don't run any problems of ruining what I have?
I mean, if we uninstall it on your main computer, it won't cause any problems at all with the files that you have.
Okay. Well, then we can do that.
It just may not get them 100%. It just may not get them 100% through every single screen, but it'll be enough for them to understand what they need to do.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna stream the uninstallation. I'm gonna install, and I'm gonna do the installation. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Are you available tomorrow morning?
Yes. How early?
I was thinking 6:30.
That's too early for me.
6:31. That work? Sometime mid-morning tomorrow is fine, Alex. Whenever you get up and get functioning and going, let me know, and we'll get together and do what we need to do. It looks like I'm probably going to be up to 4 or 5 in the morning again tonight, messing with this 8 terabyte. So I might not be going to bed until 6:30, the way things are going.
Well, there's some days but I wish I could do that, but because my mom and dad have to help me get in bed, have to help me get ready for bed.
You're fine. We understand. You're fine. Did I ever consider booting a live Linux to recover files from 8 terabyte drive? No, I didn't even consider that.
We could try
live Linux. Now, are they aggressive or are they passive? I need to know when I go get this live Linux. Oh wait, I'm getting that confused with links. Never mind.
It's a good thing that I'm not the host.
I can make you the host if you would like to be the host.
No, because you know where you'll go?
Yeah.
in the penalty box.
Can I ask a question? Oh, one who's soon to be host.
Don't
I
even.
have two questions actually.
Go ahead.
Oh, one who's soon to be host. How do you pronounce your true last name?
It's taking
Oh,
you
that's
this
simple.
long.
Now that I know that, this is my good friend Jim. I got it.
It's taking you this long to ask that question?
Yes.
Wow.
Is it noon? Wait a minute.
Hold on. No, before you try, look at the spelling of the last name.
Yeah, I gotta go find it because it's obviously not. You're out. Your last name is clearly not KJ3N.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So hang on. Let me go bring up a last name thing here. Okay.
Okay. Now you're looking at the last name.
Yes.
Ignore the U and try to pronounce it.
The U. I was gonna ignore the Y.
No.
Nitons.
Correct.
Oh,
Wow. Really?
Yes.
I would have never thought to.
And most people don't.
I-
It's very rare that anybody ever gets that last name right on the first try.
Well, yeah, I can see why. Because if you, I seriously would have annoyed. Never mind. Yeah,
Ignored the Y.
Nitons.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, if I can just remember who asked me that earlier in the day, I can tell them.
Why? Who wants to know that?
I don't remember. I'm serious when I said that. I was asked earlier today, and I butchered it.
Well, it has to be somebody who has my last name already, so it's got to be somebody somewhat in the group.
Was it Chris? Was it you
What's that?
that asked me how to pronounce Jim's last name?
I think so.
Thank you for bailing me out. I believe it was Chris. Seriously. Uh-oh, what happened?
What?
My monitor.
I thought it was Noggin too.
Well, I hadn't looked it up. If I would have went and looked it up, I would have not pronounced it the way I did. But I seriously would have never thought to ignore the Y and ignore the U and pronounce the Y.
Yeah.
Now, okay. I said two questions. What was my second question?
Yeah, I'm waiting. Take your time.
Oh, we could be here a while.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know, Greg. I'm trying to think of it. It'll come to me. Maybe. I'm drawing a blank. Good thing there's not $1 million on the line here, isn't there? I'd be broke. Well, that was quick. Jeff, what'd you do? Give her a frozen dinner? You're muted.
He wanted some cereal. I said,
Oh,
"No."
okay. Cool.
Yeah, the kids went with a neighbor kid and his grandfather to a swimming pool. It was open late, except the storms came. I came back a little early.
I don't know. It'll come to me. Nitons. Who would have ever
Another
thought?
thing for the list.
Yeah, really.
What list?
Exactly. Shopping list? Grocery list?
Well, it wasn't a technical question then, was it?
I don't think so. No, although I did plug in the docking station to a USB 3 in the back, and I did plug in the this gizmo right here into the back, which is USB 3 as well,
Mhm.
and it was slow as molasses. And there,
Interesting.
it was it was horrible. These guys will tell you it was horribly slow as molasses. So I plugged this into the docking station this afternoon, and it's relatively quick.
Hmm.
So
That is a little weird, but whatever works.
yeah, well, that's kind of it. I was kind of worried that 8 terabyte did break my machine, but thank goodness it didn't.
No, what it did is it's sending out so much garbage because it's bad that the system's going, what the hell's going on here?
Here, I'll show you the error. Give me just a second. I'll show you what the error was. Really? Yep, Zoom still thinks my number one is my number two monitor. My two is my number one. This is just dumb as hell. Be glad when Zoom catches back up.
Hey, I wonder, since it
No,
was,
Zoom was aware of more than one monitor at a time.
Yeah, it sees all four monitors actually, but it's got my 3 and 4 finally balanced out. Earlier today, my 1 was my 2, my 2 was my 1, my 3 was my 4, and my 4 was my 3. After 2 or 3 restartings, my 3 is my 3, my 4 is my 4, my 1 is still my 2, my 2 is still my 1. So I'm hoping after 3 or 4 restarts, it figures it out. But as you can
Now,
see,
you logged into your Zoom?
oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it says total devices 3 drives, Western Digital MyBook, yes. Western Digital Virtual, part of the Western Digital MyBook, so I ignored that. Western Digital SES, I ignored that. This is the 8 terabyte. This is the M.2 Sabre. And then down here it says, whatever that is, the 8 terabyte. Warning, please back up your data and replace your hard disk drive. A failure may be imminent and cause an unpredictable fail. Press F1 to run setup. So I did. When I press F1, I should have taken a picture of the BIOS because it showed the boot drive being my M.2 drive. But it would not boot.
Okay.
It would not
First-
boot.
First thing that I would do is I would, not to, at this point, I wouldn't even bother putting it back in,
Oh,
but
no.
as a possibility, and again, I'm just going to pull this off of out of nowhere, basically. You need to look at, depending on which M.2 slot. Well, you're using both M.2 slots, aren't you?
No, I'm using the one that's closest to the graphics card, which is closest to the processor. I took the one out.
Okay.
I took it out. That's now my flash drive. That's what that flash drive is.
Okay. There's an outside possibility that you may have a situation where one of the M.2 slots, if you have an NVMe drive in there, it has a tendency to disable some of the SATA ports.
No, the only M.2 slot that's being used is that Sabre one. That's it.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
other ones are empty.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
would
possible-
double check. I would double check the manual and see what it says that if a certain drive is in this slot, these SATA ports become unusable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Because that may
Yeah,
have been, that may be what's going on here. Is it may see both drives, but it's going, hold on.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true on the motherboard. I have one of the M.2 slots is shared with one of the SATA ports. Use one or the other.
Right.
I did read something about one of the slots disables something, but I'm pretty
Usually
sure-
disables one or two SATA ports. That's
Yeah.
usually what it does.
and I'm pretty sure I'm not using that slot.
what about it being in RAID? Would that have anything to do with it?
No, you wouldn't have RAID on in the first place. Wouldn't have RAID on in the first place. That's not the default of the BIOS.
Well, since RAID has been mentioned, and surprisingly enough, not by Alex, he's trying to get me to buy 2 12-byte terabytes, put them both in the machine internally, and set them up as a RAID. And go.
My first answer is no.
Okay.
My second answer is if you're going to buy a pair of 12 terabyte drives, you find a older machine and stick them in that and create the NAS so that you can pull any data you want off with any device you have. Now, yes, you can share a folder on your PC, but I try not to have a single point of failure when it comes to my network.
Okay.
You put the 12 terabyte drive in your machine. Well, you better pray that your machine never dies.
Right, because if it's a single one, then Or if I put both of them in there, which was a question I asked Alex, that what happens if one dies and I understand the other one's a backup, it mirrors it so you always have your data. What
Right.
happens if the second one dies? And as we all
Well,
know with my
let's-
luck,
Well, here's the deal. As soon as the first one fails,
uh-huh.
you go out and you buy the replacement and you reestablish the mirror.
Oh, okay.
You don't just let a failed drive sit there. You replace it. And I will give you a perfect example of that. The very first NAS that I put together had a pair of parallel ATA 400 gigabyte drives and a pair of 1 terabyte SATA drives. Now, at the time, the parallel ATA drives were somewhere between 10 and 12 years old. They were fine. One of the 1 terabyte drives, which were much newer, died. And I had to replace it, had to rebuild the mirror. I don't think it was 2 years later, the other one died. So, yeah, when something fails, you don't let it sit there, you replace it.
Okay, I did find in the manual it says the slots are
What?
set to AHCI mode by default. If you intend to create a SATA
If
rated,
it's storming when you start to come home, yes, but
set these
call me somehow. Tell me.
connections, set the SATA mode item in BIOS to Intel RST premium rate. It also says when a device in SATA mode is installed on the M.2_1 socket, SATA 6G_2 port cannot be used. Now,
Okay,
on this,
okay,
not
so-
since it's on my thing, that says SATA 6G_4. If
Yeah,
I
so
read
you're
this right.
so you're fine.
Okay,
You're
so
fine.
that's weird that it did that. But anyway, I just took it out and I'll do it the painstakingly way. And go from there. Sorry,
Well,
Greg.
Keep in mind that every minute that drive is running,
Oh yes.
it's dying even more.
Oh yes. I actually brought that point up earlier today, and actually someone said that's a good point. So I did think of that. And yes, I'm aware that every time I fire it up and get lucky and get 4 or 5 songs off, I'm damaging it more. And there could come a point in time where it just says, I'm done.
At that point, you see if a 12 gauge will blow the song off the drive or something.
There you go.
Just updated new Zoom to 5.11.5. And the
I
only
just
virtual
looked, I can't
background
find
again is Greg Guy.
5.11.5. I think he's pulling our leg.
That's a good one. That is good. The only available background virtually for 5.11.5 is Greg Guy with ice cream. Blackwatch would like to know when I'm finished, can you shoot it with a shotgun? Sure. Drive down here and get it. Oh, wait. That could be a problem.
It's
Yeah, we'll get it to you.
problem.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, where'd my participants go? Here we go. There we go. I'm back to functionality now. So the picture on the stream, I went and found that on the D drive and pulled it off of there today, looking for pictures. That's my next big project. Once I get this one done, I got to start clearing that one up. And then when I get everything off of it that I want, the pictures and music, then I'm just going to format it, and then I'll have a 3 gigabyte emergency drive in case. Just in case. Because I've looked at 12s, I'm working on it. I'm trying to hire a bunch of people to help me stand on a corner. Boy, that went over rough. That was not good.
Yeah, well, it happens.
What's the pay?
I've got the solution for that. What's to say what, Jeff?
What's the pay? For
What's the
standing
pay?
on
I don't know how you feel about White Castles.
Never had one.
Then you're gonna enjoy your pay.
Had Crystal. Don't know how they compare.
So Jim has got some competition when it comes to his laugh.
Oh,
Oh yes, one of my two granddaughters tonight. I was playing with her and moving her back and forth, and she got to laughing so hard that I temporarily was thinking, I got to figure out a way to record this because I can have this on my stream deck as well. It was so funny. She
Well,
was
you
having
got
such.
a phone.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to move your grandkids around and get a phone going at the same time.
Mm.
I mean, I got to have my priorities. I can't drop the phone.
No, set the phone up first.
Well, then I'd need to get that little gizmo that I've been asked to get, and I haven't gotten that yet either. I think that's about 12th on my list, in all seriousness. Checking the time here. 45 minutes. Anybody got any questions? Anything on your mind? It is Wacky Wednesday after all.
No, I mentioned. Yeah, damn it.
Somebody
to
mentioned
finish.
something.
Hold on. I'm
Updated a bunch of drivers today. Everything seemed to go all right, strangely enough. Use the Intel driver updater, use Gigabyte's App Center.
All I've done today is try to get this data off there. I was at about, I don't know, 10 minutes to 4-ish. It said 7 minutes. Yes, it'll be done. And at about 8 to 9 minutes after 4, it jumps to 1 hour. I'm like, no, I'm going to bed. And then today, Alex has suggested making a image of that drive alone, and it gets to 43% relatively quickly, and then it stops. It went from 1 hour to 2 hours to 3 hours to 84 hours to 124 hours. At the 124th hour, projected time, Jim, projected time. At that time, Greg said, I'd just kill it, at which I did. So there's,
refresh my memory. Which drive is this?
that's the 8 terabyte.
Oh, okay. Stop playing with the drive. Stop
Yeah,
playing
I
with it.
know. I know. And then I believe Chris asked, I think it was Chris that asked, did we think it was worth sending the $300 data? And practically everybody in the room said, no.
Well, the only person who can actually make that determination is you.
Well, I said no. I didn't even think about it. It's 22 to 26 gigabyte of pictures and music that I probably have elsewhere already. Truth be known. But I don't want to run, especially the pictures, I don't want to run the risk I don't have them. The music, like I said, I can always get the music back. Just got to re-download it. Just takes time.
Now, then you're going to have to make the priority to get the photos off and screw the music.
I've got the photos off.
Okay.
Photos are good.
Okay.
So, Photo Mix Media. Got a question from the chat room. Photo Mix Media. Jim, do you not need to remind me that every minute I am closer to grave as well? I must have missed something there.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I have no idea what he's referring to.
I don't
You
either.
do not need to remind me that every minute I am closer to the grave.
I'm still just as lost as I was a minute ago. Jose, would you care to join us on the Zoom and provide an explanation?
Well, you're talking
Oops,
about.
I mean, Photo Mix Media, would you care to join us on Zoom?
No, Black Watch. I don't feel like calming down. I want to raise hell tonight.
Well, if this is you raising hell, I don't want to see you when you're not upset.
Just me being crazy. Mildly.
So Mrs. K tonight stood up from break and she kind of looked like that. I said, what are you doing? She goes, I know how you feel now when you say you're putting the parts in all the working order. I said, yeah, now you know what it feels like. You know, when you stand up and you got to get the legs right and the arms right and the back right, it ain't pretty. And then tonight when I was walking out of Mom's room, she walked me to the door so she could lock it. And we got about halfway there and she looks up at me and she goes, You want to run to the door? I'm like, no, I don't. And she goes, oh, come on. It's only 4 feet away. I said, I'll take 2 steps and you'll call 911. So she was in a good mood. We had a good visit. Went and got her mail, checked on the house. House is still there, still locked up. She's a little perturbed that she has, in her own words, locked out of her house. I said, what do you mean you're locked out of your house? She goes, I can't get in. I'm locked out. I said, no, Mom, you're here for 5 days. On Sunday, you get to go home back to your house. And she says, I know that, but then I'll be locked in my house. So we're going to make it a point to make sure she starts getting outside while she's there. She's a little concerned her 17-year-old granddaughter is going to go to California by herself. Well, we asked for Jose and we get Blackwatch. Maybe Blackwatch's name is Jose. Maybe we've not known this all along. Hey, Jose, welcome.
Hey, Canadian homies.
Oh, yeah, Jose's not Canadian, is it? My bad, I'm sorry. It's Josie.
My name Jose Hermanos.
The most important thing in rocket travel is the blast off. Always make sure I have a blast before I take off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it goes back to Jack Benny show.
And here is my brother, Jesus.
It's Sullivan.
Oh,
Hey, Jim,
Yeah, yes.
did you look? The last, I think it was a couple of days ago, I did it today, the update to Firefox.
Yes.
This, you know how, well, you don't use a dark mode, do you?
I have been known to use dark mode on occasion. Why?
No, what I mean is the extension. It comes built in, it's capital A, small a, it's a black background. You're probably running the most recent one. They took, how can I put it? The upper right used to be capital A, small a, you know, what the extensions listed. Now they have got an arrow that's hidden. But the worst part, you open it for me, is you open private window. And it used to say Firefox, whatever, it was dark, glaring white. I thought they blew the extension right out, but they didn't. I don't know what those guys are doing. It looked like a make work project for the appearance, only the appearance. No security updates, nothing. But my point is, have you ever downgraded it successfully?
I've never had a reason to.
I try, you know where it goes to catalog and you got to pick whatever. I've tried it before and no joy. It just broke everything all up. But it's one of those updates that just leaves you standing. You know why? It's only the appearance. You know how in the task tray you can hide certain task things with the arrow, the caveat. That's what they've done. On the upper right, it's ridiculous. You know what it reminds me of? When we had a de Havilland, the business was really bad, so you figure we're going to get nailed. Eventually, 1,000, well, 3,000 were let go. It's a make work project, you know what I mean? So the boss thinks you're busy. Looks like you're busy.
Okay.
No, it's true. It happens, you know, because you don't. And that's what it looks like. It looks like, you know, they're going to let people go or something. So let's put this together. What a flaming nightmare. But anyway, other than restoring the system, there's no way back. I'm not doing that. But I just wondered if you know, noticed it. If you're up to date with it, you'll see it. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Well, I just actually had to restart it to update to the latest version because it was, what was I on? Well, let me see. Let me see what it says now.
I think it's 101.2, and I want 102 something. I'm not.
Yeah, 101.2, I think is what I had. It's now sitting at 103.0.
Yeah, that's what I got.
That's the one. But if you,
Okay.
if you go and turn, you go add-ons and you see the thing, enable it. It says a capital A, small a. It's a built-in, there'll be dark background light text. You turn that on, you open a private window, and it should say Firefox, right? Like in the logo, but the background will be black. Now it's glaring white. Just like when I first saw that, I thought you'd broken the extension, But then when I used a bookmark to go to YouTube, for example, it's honored. It's on. It's a stupid presentation thing. I think if you looked at, what's new, you'd find no security in it whatsoever. They just changed the way it looks. What are you going to do? I wish they'd let you know. And the one thing I found used to be the updater was an x86 program. You could take it out. You can't now. Everything's in program files and you can't get to it. But you could keep dismissing, ignore it. But anyway, I'm disappointed in Firefox recently. Remember that one they put in? It was big security debacle. It was all screwed up. They had to get it fixed within a day or so.
Oh, I'm sure I would remember it at some point, but off the top of my head, I honestly have to tell you, I don't keep track of it. I run very few extensions in Firefox. The only thing I use is basically an ad blocker and maybe one or two others, and that's it. I don't really add a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, if I look at it, yeah, actually, if I look at it, the only two extensions that I have loaded is the ad blocker and something called return YouTube dislike.
Yeah.
Those are the only two things I have on mine.
Well, you remember when they dropped the legacy support and everybody got all upset with it. I stopped with a lot of them, but they came up with this built-in one of the black background. It comes with Firefox, so they honor it. But they got a lot of people, developers, upset with when they weren't going to support legacy anymore, which I understand. But they gave them no warning. They could have said, "Look, 2 years out or a year out, we're not going to support your legacy extensions anymore."
Oh yeah, I ran into that on something, one of the other machines, and I can't remember what the extension was off the top of my head, but I ran into that as well at some point. I don't remember what the extension was, and I think at the end of the day, it wasn't that important to me.
No, but the funny thing, I set the OS to 125% on text. So I was having issues with Skype, so I could increase the text size to large, which is fine. It's altered everything. It's in Firefox. Firefox seems zoomed. I had to cut it down to 80%. The whole thing's wacko since I updated that. But anyway, there's no way back. They got lots of videos on this. You go back to the catalog and you pick it and you tell it what to do. I've never had that work successfully, not once. But anyway, I just wondered. You and Greg use Firefox. Just a nightmare. Why don't they sit on their hands or something? Go play golf with Ken. I don't care. Go help Ken.
How good are they at golf?
Not very good.
Yeah, they can come play golf with me then. So a couple of real quick updates. I talked to Catherine today via Zoom. She's fine. She's been busy. She's been hectically busy. She wanted everyone to know she's okay. And if I could start streaming earlier in the day, she would join us, but I don't see how I'm going to be able to do that since she works 2 to 10. I kind of flirted with the idea of maybe doing something similar to Doug's doing, a 20 to 30 minute, but then I thought, nah, I don't want to do that. Today was just a special case that I was working on that. And I thought, hey, what's a better way to do this and do a quick stream? B.H. Ringer, thank you very much. I appreciate the thought. Yeah, it's going to be painstakingly. Come on down. Jim's coming down. We'll get together and grill and barbecue, and we'll get it done. So.
I had a thought, and
Wait, you had a thought?
Yeah, it was painful.
Wait. Did it hurt?
tremendously so.
Okay, continue.
All the peroxide in the world didn't help. But what was it Carrie had in one machine? Is it Savient, whatever, 4 terabyte? How much are they now?
If you have to ask, you can't afford it. Moving
No,
on.
no. The 4 terabytes, I want to say, are somewhere in the neighborhood of. I want to say they're in the neighborhood of about 370 something, 380 something.
They were up around 6 when he had it, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it's because he decides he wants to jump on it right away.
No, I'm just saying, like, 4 doesn't seem to be able to.
$699 list right now. Sabre 4 terabyte Rocket 4 Plus NVMe.
Okay.
If you want to go down to Rocket Q, $599. If you want to go to PCI ME, whatever, 2280, $649. There's a $589. Yeah, they're pricey.
Yeah, well, the NVMe ones are very pricey. However, hang on a second. Here you go. Not a Sabrent, but here you go.
I mean, this wouldn't suit in Ken's black blaze, black blaze, whatever it is, of photos. It wouldn't hold many, but be a whole lot more reliable than these.
They're coming down. They're coming down. $400 is not bad.
No, not for 4 terabyte. $100 a get,
$100 a terabyte, basically. Yeah.
It's not bad.
And you're just paying for the speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, but you got more storage, and I don't think they have anything past 4, do they? They don't have 6 or 8.
Well, you also have to keep in mind, depending on whether that Sabrent, that's 600 something, I think is what you said, Ken?
$699, yeah.
$699. I would check to make sure whether it's a Gen 3 or a Gen 4 drive, because I bet you it's a Gen 4 drive.
Probably, yeah.
Because what I showed you was a Gen 3.
How do you tell the generation?
It should say it if
Yeah.
whatever you're
Oh, it's
looking
Gen
at.
4. Yeah, Gen 4.
Okay, well, that explains it. That's why it's $700.
They have a tendency to stay on the cutting edge, don't they? On the,
Yeah, they do.
the generation. And you're going to pay for it.
Yes, you're going to pay for it to basically take your 15-second boot time and make it 7.5-second boot time.
No, I'm just thinking of the space. Or Ken, more or less.
Right.
It's more
Here's
reliable.
one for $709.
Holy mackerel. No.
Yeah, Gen 4, also Gen 4.
Yeah, I see that. It's pretty pricey.
Now, if you can quote unquote tolerate, say the 3 speeds, then you'll find
$770.
you'll find that the 2.5-inch 4 terabytes are below 400 at this point.
4 terabyte.
I kind of
Generation
find-
pre-gen 770. Well, am I reading that correctly? It's on sale. It used to be $949.
Mm-hmm.
4 terabyte internal. I can't see because Zoom's blocking part of it. What's the gen on that drive?
3.
Gen 3? No, that's forget that. You can take that price and stick it where the sun don't shine. For a Gen 3 drive, no, that's
What
way
it
overpriced.
says.
Way overpriced.
one thing, the Samsung 970 Pro, the 2 terabyte, the going rate, I couldn't even get it in,
Damn,
this
nice.
was, I built this February 2020, but the Western Digital Black 2nd gen, they're about almost as fast as Samsung. It's too bad they don't go for the higher, capacity ones.
Well, that XPG, the SX8100 I just showed you, that was right at $400. It's probably pretty close to being as fast as that 970.
Because whatever they advertise, this maxed out above it. The Western Digital, you got to make sure it's a 2nd gen. First was garbage. It's just fast. It's, not that I cared about the speed. I mean, if I have to sit here for 30 seconds, I don't care.
So you don't mind hanging around for 2 minutes 31 seconds here in a minute when I put the 8 drive back in? 8 terabyte. Oh, we timed it last night. We were bored. Takes 2 minutes 31 seconds for it to be put in the docking station before it shows up to where you can do anything.
Oh, Jesus.
The 1 terabyte or the 6 terabyte, less than a second. It was amazing. So
No, you gotta stop playing with it. You get what if you've got what you want off of it at this point, my reaction is put a bullet in it now and get it over with.
be right back. Gotta go find my bullets.
No, didn't you hear? Every household in Iran is nuclear capable. I want to blow the sucker up with a nuclear one.
Something about a mouse and an elephant gun comes to mind.
Or I'll just take some vinegar and baking soda and watch it collapse into nothingness.
Would it though?
I
What?
don't know.
With vinegar and baking soda, I mean, it'd make a big bubbly mess, but I don't think it's going to melt the drive.
No. No, it's encased in metal. It's not going to matter.
Right.
Well,
Now,
put it in,
you want to pour some hydrochloric acid on it, maybe. Yeah, that'd make a difference.
put it in your pressure cooker.
What about microwave?
Nah,
Well, if you want to destroy the microwave, yeah, go right ahead. Because it's not. I don't think it's going to bother the drive.
just put a camera in front of it and watch the light show.
It's not going to. Let me put it this way: it's not going to bother the platters. It might do something to the electronic board on it, but it's not going to do anything to the platters.
Oh, nuts. Scratch the
I
camera.
just wonder. That gives me a great idea. You're helping me out here. I like these. Keep these ideas coming. I'm gonna go buy a cheap microwave at Walmart tomorrow. I'm gonna put it outside, run an extension cord, safety. You know, I'm gonna put the hard drive in there. I'm gonna set it for about, I don't know, 10 minutes.
You won't. No, you won't even need 10 minutes. You'll destroy the microwave in less than 30 seconds.
Really?
Yep, metal.
You're putting metal in a microwave oven. Trust me, it will destroy the microwave in about 30 seconds.
I'm gonna record it though, and I'm gonna say
Oh,
I
yeah,
use this as a way of fixing my 8 terabyte drive, and let's see if it worked.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I got those blender bottles that have those metal balls in them, you know, that you
Mm-hmm.
say,
Mm-hmm.
and I know better than this, but I had some of my tea had gotten cold, and so I had the 10-second thought of, I'm just gonna put that in the microwave for just a minute.
Uh-huh.
And it basically, it didn't destroy the microwave, but it went boom and it went boom and blew the lid open on the bottle.
Like it didn't blow your door open.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen before.
I could see the news thing tomorrow day after that.
Hey,
We tracked the source of the blackout on the East Coast since 2003 from Greenwood, Indiana. It seems the man went out with his 8 terabyte drive and put it in his microwave. The whole Eastern Seaboard will be out for 4 weeks.
good idea. I should go down to Greenwood and not do it here in Indianapolis because Greenwood's a smaller city in case I do cause a power outage. Great idea.
Not gonna happen.
No, I know. I'm not going to do it. So, hey, Alex, I got a question when you did that with your bottle. Alex,
Yes.
is this before or after you had the dogs?
After.
You're
It
a
was
lucky
real
man.
recent. It was real recent. It happened, you know, just before the kids moved here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But after you came to visit.
But hey, you ain't blaming that microwave blowing up on me. I had no knowledge of that whatsoever. Uh-oh.
Is this a YouTube channel about an obituary for a poor little dog that got caught?
Yeah. Somehow my Is the stream? Can someone check to see if the stream is actually streaming, please?
It appears to be.
Well, it appears. Okay, Mike is leaving. Good
Well,
night,
I got-
Mike. Thank you for hanging around. I guess it is ringing, or no, I guess maybe. Anyway, Mike Perrodin showed up. Good to see him. Tony says normal, so maybe my screen's locked up. Chat's moving, but the up there ain't moving, which is fine. I've been a little over an hour. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream by finding. I'm not gonna go look for the damn button. I'll just go push the doggone thing right here. I think is it this one? Yeah, it's that one.
It's the one NUKE on it.
And I got girls.
Yep. So I managed to fix that today because OBS and YouTube look identical. That's good because last night it wasn't even. I was like, the hell. Was working right on YouTube, but OBS was literally in a foreign country.
It's still going.
Yeah, I don't remember the length of time it runs for. 30 seconds maybe. And no, I've not corrected the spelling on anything yet.
Where did you get-
Somebody joined us.
Where did you get the pink tights for Greg? Oops.
There goes Ken Stout Live. Now it's,
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
now
There we
it's
go.
done. Good night and thank you.
Yeah, I can't use good night and have a pleasant tomorrow. Because I'm sure I'll catch a violation.